Welcome to Grow Overload. I'm Anthony and reviewing the Ubiquiti UniFi Dream Machine Pro. I've been using the Ubiquiti UniFi Dream Machine Pro here for now about 8 months or so. I did an unboxing of it, and this is another one I bought with Black Friday sale that they had on. But just to go through this here really fast is that you have the LCD screen, and then up on top here you have your vents. Then you have your hard drive, which you can press this and it comes out, which allows you to add in a hard drive if you want to use the protect. So that's kind of like cameras that, then you can store it all local here. Then you have an 8-port switch, so this is 8-port all gigabit. And then you have your gigabit WAN there, if that should, hopefully it should focus. And then you have, this is a 10 gig LAN down here, SFP plus, and then your top one is a 10 gig SFP plus for WAN as well. So you can have redundant WANs if you want. I haven't set that up yet, but it's something I'm considering here. I don't know. We'll see if I go down that route, but I think it's a really cool option that hopefully, if enabled and it works, UniFi will support it as well. And I think it is supported. And then you have, here's the sides, just basically your mounting brackets. You got your top, which is just looks like a piece of metal, right? Sides with some holes in it. And then the back here, which is, so you got your back here. So you got your power plug, and you can kind of see there's also vents here on the back side for airflow, normal power plug, and then this right here, and if it shows up, that's your redundant power supply connector. That just right there pops out, and then it should show the connector. And I haven't popped this out yet. I wasn't planning on it, but that's what you can do if you need, if you buy another device that's rack mountable, right? This is rack mountable, 1U rack mount, and you can then have them connected and make sure that you have a redundant supply for that. So I'm just gonna be using a better backup. That's what I got for myself and then my parents. This one will be going up to my parents. I have mine in, and I mean, it's being used right now. It works pretty well. And to go on that too, just a little bit more on the technical spec side, is that you have, a quad core processor in here, 4 gigs of memory, 16 gigs of flash storage, maximum of 33 watts of power consumption. I'm using it quite a bit less than that for what I'm using it for, which has been quite reasonable. And this is 17.42 inches by 1.5 or 1.72 inches high, so 1U, and then it is a depth of 11.24 inches. So, and you can get all the other stuff. You can see the unboxing of it that I did to see everything in the box if you'd like as well. But to get into how I feel about this and just a review of it, I've been using it for 8 months, and I have been impressed by it overall. And as you see, I bought another one for my parents, so obviously I like it. One thing is the management side of it. I really like their, and I know some people might want it more local. I like that you have the option to go to their cloud account and then connect in and set up the device, because especially for my parents, managing a site, I get to then manage this all myself, and I don't have to, have them, hey, can you go unplug this, turn this on, or have me log in to set it up. I can do it all remotely, apply it, and they just get to use their internet. It's hands off for them. I think that's one really, really nice thing that has this option. Now, I'm not using, what is it they have, Protect, the network stuff, Talk, and oh gosh, now I'm blanking on the other one here. Touch, I think it is. I'm just using the Protect. For me, myself, I got a UniFi doorbell, and so it records on the hard drive. Everything I kind of need, it does that. Maybe I'll get some more cameras at some point, and it works quite well. I'm very impressed with it. Now, my parents, they may not need that option right now. Maybe down the road they will, but I got the UDM for a good deal, and that's why I went with it. So The Protect stuff works pretty well, right? There's software. That's one added option you have with this over the UDM. It also has more memory, which could be an issue. I've talked to some friends that have had issues with only 2 gigs of memory, and maybe that's a software optimization, but it's just something to keep in mind if you're looking at this between the UDM product as well, instead of just the UDM Pro. Now the UDM has Wi-Fi with it, and you get that, but this you get to plug in. One thing that and I should do my negatives here in a little bit, is this doesn't have PoE. Yes, you have a switch here, you can plug in your access points, but these are not PoE. And for me, I think that this should be a PoE switch as well. It is very quiet. This is very, very quiet. At least mine is. I have it in the basement here, mounted. I have a wall rack that's mounted to in the basement in my little storage closet. I guess it's not that little, but it's an open area and there's good airflow. It keeps quite cool, and been very impressed with it overall, how quiet it is. My computer fans of the little ITX box I have on there is louder. So that's just to give you a little perspective of it. It is a 10 gig. I do like that it does have 10 gig to a switch. So SFP, you can go 10 gig to another switch. Now I wish all their switches have that 10 gig to them. The one I bought was only gig. It works for now. Probably an upgrade I do at some point. Now let me get into some of the negatives, and I'll come back to the a summary of everything I kind of like, and even mention a little bit about software, because I got mixed feelings about the software. No PoE. That's one thing I think that these 8 ports should have at least, is PoE, so that if you could buy this device and you're wanting wireless, you have one device to plug in, you have PoE budget to then go forward. Yes, this might be a little bit more expensive, but it'd be worth it because, in a house, let's say you want to just do Wi-Fi, you don't want to run anything to switches, and maybe just have a little network device next to it. Okay, now you can go through PoE, you plug them in, you have one cord, you get rid of all those extra PoE injectors, and you're off to the races, right? That would be a great option for this. Also, these are gig ports. I would like 2.5. 10 gig would be awesome, right? But I don't expect them to go and spend that money. I've heard that the ports are pretty close, and especially with Wi-Fi 6 coming, Wi-Fi 6E, etc., the extra bandwidth to those 8 access points would be a huge benefit. So there's some improvement that they can easily put into here and make it a better product. And maybe that's a Dream Machine 2.0 or Pro that they have access to, or that they create, right? Overall, though, on this, like, I wouldn't be buying another one if it wasn't like, oh yeah, a bad product here. Now, with this product, in how impressive it was. Now, this is my first venture into really doing rack mounted stuff in my house and going that route. I've worked with networks in a corporate sense, but I want to do more personal stuff and go from there. So with that, I have to talk about firmware, though. And firmware is the fun part. And maybe I do another video on this as well. Their firmware. I am on this one, which is going to my parents, is on 1.8.3. Their latest one as of today. I've been running betas on mine here within the last month. I've been impressed with their betas. I've been impressed with the direction of their firmware. And the reason why I say I'm impressed with the direction is at one point I was not. There seemed to be a lot of issues that were either creeping back up. I was reading forums. I was having some stuff, and there was problems. So the thing is that they're improving it, right? They're making the firmware better. So maybe they have a better direction. I don't know what happened. I'd love to talk to somebody in the there to see what changed, because it was a good change. Now they have work to do still, but if you're doing, let's say you're just starting up, this is a great device to start to learn on. and to move forward. It's not too expensive. You don't have all licensing problems, etc., that come with some of the other ones, right? That's one big, huge plus that Ubiquiti has. And their wireless APs, I have one in the center here that you can barely see, or I have two Nano HDs. Whoops, I guess somebody wants to talk to me. Sorry about that. But I have two Nano HDs that do a wonderful job. I need a third one, or a third access point in my garage, but that's another story. What's impressive is that you can expand this. And so with my parents, I know I need to replace the two that are there, and there's a huge dead spot and I'm hoping that I can just cover that up, right? It's a little, I buy what I need. I can add on to it. I can, you know, modify the network, which is a huge plus. And if Ubiquiti is improving the software and keeps going in the right direction with it, it's one thing I can really support and get behind. And I guess that's where I kind of stand on this. I sat on this review for a while because I was frustrated with the firmware, with how they were updating the product. I mean, your UDM product, which is, this one's little brother, little sister, right? Was was not being updated for a very long time, and now they're getting into where they're on the same version together. They're on the same release together. So I think that they're starting to iron things out, and this is just, I haven't talked to anybody there. I'm just seeing what I see from the outside, and I develop software, for my daily job, and that is just the direction they're going, which is impressive. And I hope that they continue this, because if I can install betas and feel confident with that, that I'm not going to get totally bricked and not be able to have, a network working, that's a good sign for just regular releases. Now, I'm not saying that there's no bugs, right? I do have bugs, and some of them are irritating to me, and that's probably another video. But just reviewing this product alone, overall, what Ubiquiti has done is impressive. You know, yes, there's features I'd like in this. Yes, there have been problems with this in the last 8 months with, firmware updates, but Ubiquiti has actually corrected some stuff, and I was surprised. I was shocking. I thought that maybe I would have gone a different direction. I mean, I would have probably gone in a different direction if something didn't work out. That was my plan when I put it in. I said, well, if it doesn't work out, I can sell the equipment. Somebody will probably want it. Yeah, I'll probably take a little loss on it, but I can go to something else that may be better. And they, with the firmware updates and how they've been updating things and fixing things, they convinced me that I don't need to do that. And that's a huge thing for me. That's a huge positive on showing me that they're committed to making sure that a product is going to work for a community and for people that buy this, rather than, hanging it out to dry. And some of their cameras, some of their EOL practices and stuff, I do hope that change. I hope the community has influence on them to improve it better for the community, right? If you're going to help out your community will pay you back in good ways. And I hope that is, and I hope that they continue it. And so, just some of the physical things I didn't like about it, firmware stuff, and then the no PoE. I like 2.5 gig, especially with what's coming out. And, for my parents, gig is going to be more than enough, right? They have really slow internet. But, this is a good product. And yeah, if you're looking at something in network and get it started or whatever, or just looking at this product, I'd highly recommend it. Get started. Beware that you might have an issue here or there. You might have to work around for a little bit, but with the firmware I've been running here for a little while now, I don't have a really expansive network with, doing a tons of stuff, right? I have a couple VLANs, I got multiple access points, stuff like this. I got every room in my house has 2 jacks to it that I've wired, so there's a lot of connectivity, but it's been rock solid, and that's what I needed. I need it for, my family and everything else. It just needs to work. They don't want to have to go to, my wife comes, hey, something's not working, or the kids go, Dad, it's not working. It's just got to work, and they got to have the experience kind of be what they want to get out of it, not be The experience can't be something's not working. Let's fix it. Can you fix it, right? And that was the important part. And Ubiquiti's kind of hitting on that. I don't really hear people say, "Oh, something's out." Um, actually, I haven't. So that's a good sign. That they've done a good job with that. So um, I want to put good things about a company when they do it, and hopefully the bad things that I don't really like, some are not going to change because they're physical, but the firmware updates, I hope do improve, can keep on improving. That was a good sign, because if I would have done this review, you know, 2 months after I got it, it would have been a little bit more on the downside, negative than the positives. And with how they're improving, it's now more positive, and I think that's a good sign. So let me know what questions you have in the comments below. Hopefully I can answer them. I know that I'm not a huge network guy. I write more software during the day, and so I don't spend that much time on network, but I'm willing to learn. If you guys have any comments on how to set up the network with the UDM, or any suggestions, feel free. I'm more than willing to learn on this stuff. It's pretty exciting. I've been having a lot of fun with it. And leave your comments, questions below, and if I don't know it, hopefully somebody in the community that watches the video knows it as well. And until next time, I do want to say thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for helping this channel grow and continue to support it. I really appreciate it. Until next time, God bless, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.